Let's go, Rider Nation.
I'm ready. I'm ready. Yeah, here we go. It's a feeling now. Hit 'em high, hit 'em low, 'cause we're dealing now. Everybody's giving it all they got, 'cause we're ready.
This is the Piffles podcast, your Saskatchewan Roughriders fan podcast. Thanks for joining us here this week as we go live again on another hit for the evenings as we're getting ready for the Grey Cup here this upcoming Sunday, Riders and Alouettes. Thanks for joining us. I'm Alex.
I'm Steve.
I still can't believe we did it. Like, I know we've talked every day since this happened. I still cannot believe that final minute.
I think my voice is finally back almost to 100%.
It's
The last
better
couple
than
nights
it's
has been a
been.
struggle for me on the show, man. Like it's been tough.
100 feels like where my heart rate's been resting at.
Well, we're going to get into that game a little bit deeper here in just a minute with a special guest joining us coming right up. Piffles podcast, of course, is brought to you by Dairy Queen on Elphinstone Street and Sass Drive in Regina. We're also proud to be sponsored by Kathy Festian of Royal LePage Next Level, Churchill Brewing Company, District 306, Regina's tactical laser tag experience, Bigfoot Vodka, and Creasy's Premium Home Leisure Jacuzzi Spas. Thanks for listening wherever you get your pods, watching on YouTube or Sass Telemax TV on demand. We appreciate it. Let's get to it. Let's not waste any time getting to our guest. It's time for the opening kickoff. Hey, it's the former voice of the Riders. Derek Taylor, how's it going?
Very good, very good. You mentioned the Elphinstone Dairy Queen. One of two Dairy Queens I must hit anytime I'm near it. Elphinstone and Moosomin. That drive from Winnipeg to Regina or the other way. Moosomin, baby.
Yeah, God's country. This guy knows what he's talking about right there.
Of course, now Derek Taylor, the voice of the Bombers on CJOB. But we know where your heart really lies. I saw the picture. You're wearing the Rider jersey in the wheat field there.
My Nick Dembski jersey from back in the day when I went to I think it was the second last game at the old stadium. My wife and I were there, and I'm like, I called Nick Dembski's games in college. I need to buy a Nick Dembski jersey, and they made it like within 30 minutes. I'm like, this is a real operation here. This is all right.
And of course, Fiona's probably pretty happy with her Riders being in the Grey Cup, right?
She's not borderline obnoxious because she knows that I'm kind of I'm unmoved by whichever team wins, right? Just because I try to be as impartial as possible. She is loving it. She loved every bit of that last drive. She like, if I meet Corey Mace, I'm just gonna give him a big kiss. Like she is all in on this run. She cannot wait.
It's funny. I think my wife says that every time she sees Corey Mace on the TV as well, too.
He's a handsome man. I'll admit that. He's a handsome man.
You referenced that last drive, DT. Of course, the Riders, Tommy Neal scoring a touchdown. You're watching this game on TV, I assume, on TSN. Take us through what you're seeing in the Taylor household. That last drive where the Riders go, started from the 34-yard line.
Yeah, 76 yards in 63 seconds. And at the beginning of the drive, all I could think was, well, this is why you shouldn't have kicked that field goal from the 5-yard line, because come on, what are the chances that this is actually going to happen? Right. And then, okay, well, BC rushes 3, Harris. Okay. BC rushes 3, Harris. Okay. Well, bigger plays and just down. BC keeps doing the same thing. Matthew Betts got nicked on that drive, had to leave the game. Rush 3, drop 9. Oh, we found a hole. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh, they're at the 3. Well, these 3 are going to be hard, right? Oh, no, actually they weren't at all, because there's Tommy Neal on first down with a catch that was probably a catch, but we can't prove it was a catch, but we can't prove it wasn't a catch. So exactly. In this current world of CFL, it's what the official called. Boom, Riders win. And then honestly, like this much of me went, at 11 seconds, did they leave Nathan Rourke too much time? Because we've seen him do absurd things in limited time to set up Sean White, but it turned out good for the green guys.
Well, and you joke about that 11 seconds left. I'm a Rider fan. I remember Carr against Calgary, Edmonton that 1 year.
West End 2012.
Yeah, you think you got it lined up, and then all of a sudden you deep bomb guy on a streak, and it's over. I wasn't saying I wasn't nervous either, but I was like, ooh, here we go. Like you could run one, throw the second one. Like, come on, let's take a little clock.
That was part of the thing. Like, oh no, AJ Ouellette. I was shocked when they didn't run the ball on the first down there, the first and goal. I really thought this is AJ Ouellette. You set up maybe a play action on the second one, but just a real testament to the Riders that Tommy Neal, who I thought / hoped would take roughly 0 snaps for the Riders because they would get great health from Kean Schaefer-Baker and Samuel Emlis and their receivers. Tommy Neal just making plays because this current era, these 2 years of Saskatchewan, they know exactly what players to go get versus the previous 2 years where they kind of had to take whoever they could get. It's really kind of reflective of how much things have changed in the span of 2 seasons.
So in that game, we see Nathan Rourke escaping a couple times, making shovel passes happen, second down conversions. Was there a time when you're watching that like this is like what we're seeing is something special here out of Nathan Rourke? Like he's really going to pull this off, and I mean, Kid Canada is going to go win the Grey Cup.
Yeah, just because Nathan, he has some just absurd skill levels, like certain parts of the game, he's just absurd at. He's obviously a great thrower of the football. But have you ever in your life seen somebody stronger in the pocket than Nathan Rourke? And I'm not talking about like Mike Riley, they drove a Mack truck through his chest and he got up and threw the next ball. Toughness, but like 2 guys are hanging off him and he goes, yeah, okay, taking off my jacket and I'm gonna make a pass. And I have to change my arm angle, or one day he's just going to switch to his left hand and throw it that way just because he is absurdly strong through his core and in the pocket. You go, this guy can do anything, just anything. And yeah, that, did they score 2 touchdowns in that fourth quarter, the Lions? Somebody remind me.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, quarter. Go, a couple drives in which to do this. Mace is counting on the defense to do a bunch here. And they were able to hold, Rourke down, but he is absolutely special at this level, and he showed it in that NFL stint, in that preseason stint. But he's just special at this level, and it's a testament to the Riders that they were able to hold that off with, some guys defensively who may not have been healthy and haven't been able to play in a couple of weeks. In the case of a guy like Milligan, you go, well, that's a real nice job to what was given up in the fourth quarter. They eventually just took away when it counted the most.
I don't know. I can kind of speak for me and say the moment. Or the only moment I realized the Riders were winning and it wasn't going to be Kid Canada was about 11 seconds left in that game. Until that moment, I was worried because we saw what he can do. You mentioned his preseason stint in the NFL and the play that basically made him famous down south, shrugging off, was it 3 or 4 tackles only to toss a bomb to the end zone? Like that's just the kind of player he is. And you get used to watching it, but it never stops amazing you, the things he can do in the pocket.
Yeah,
it wasn't quite enough, but
it's just crazy. And I mean, even at 11 seconds, I thought, okay, well, I presume it was McGee who returned the ball. Okay, well, if he gets it there and there's 7 or 6 on the clock, what can you do in 5 seconds and get the ball down? And if it's Sean White, I think he hasn't had a try in Saskatchewan over 49 yards in 13 years, whatever it is. I'm like, oh, if they get to the 42, actually, this might not be too bad. And they went with something totally different, just not having enough time. But 2 extra seconds, and oh man, there would have been just a little more. My nails wouldn't be quite so long now. They'd have been nattered down quite a bit.
Are you saying you didn't have an offensive lineman punt as the last play of the game in the West Final on your bingo card?
I lost a lot of money on play now on that one. Yeah, no, I had pass play, but no offensive lineman punt. Let's just start whipping it around the yard, I guess. We're at that point of the game. But
the old rugby play, you don't see those a lot anymore. I remember seeing those at least once a year. It was wild to see that the attempt at it anyway.
Yeah, well, we got offensive linemen doing great things catching the football, right? Gabe Wallace had a catch for the Bombers this year. Didn't Liam Dobson have a catch in the East Final with one that just ended up in his hands? And Tuieli caught a touchdown for the Bombers. Like, offensive linemen can catch. Let's get Jamarcus out there as a tight end and see what he can do out there. Let's go.
Hey, the way you see him picking up players, I don't doubt he could pick up D linemen on his route down too.
Offensive linemen can do anything. The Regina Thunder. Caleb Barajas scored a rushing touchdown for 11 yards. So anything can happen, and it doesn't matter.
Just got to have the right mind at OC. I love it.
What was your take on the Riders' offense in that game, at least to start? Because it was a 1-0 game for quite a while, actually, until BC got their touchdown in the second quarter. And then to me, it just seemed like things changed in that game where we finally started getting offense on both sides when Harris threaded the needle to Schaefer Baker in a zone pass, almost triple coverage, but just made that one really nice throw over the middle. And then it just seemed like both teams went from there. What was your take on seeing the offenses finally getting going?
Yeah, because we saw it in the Eastern final to start, right? Things were very slow in that game as well, and the ball wasn't really moving. So when you saw this one 7-1, 7-4, you just know that eventually things are going to come loose, right? Someone's going to figure something out. Mueller's going to figure this out. BC side, Buck Pierce is going to figure out something, and we're going to get some points here. So just who was going to not make the mistake in that time, right? BC ends up being foiled by the interception that goes off the guy's back and bounces up into the hands. But just, don't make a mistake. Don't try to force anything is something that, as Bomber fans, we've been wishing Bombers didn't try to force things quite as much as they did in 2025. But yeah, eventually it's going to crack, right? Eventually you're going to get to Mike Benavides. Eventually, as good as Saskatchewan is, eventually, your BC's offense, you're going to find some holes, or Keon Hatcher is going to do something, or Justin McInnes is going to do something. Just rely on what you can and what you know. And yeah, eventually it comes around, but it was uncomfortable at halftime because both games you felt like, I could have just, I could have gone to the store and I wouldn't have missed very much here. I don't. Sometimes there's certainly hey, defensive football is great, but a lot of times it just feels like, this is really boring and confusing, and I don't know if I know what I'm talking about when this game has 11 points in it. What's happening?
Well, it wasn't even like that was good defensive football. That was a lot of dropped balls, missed throws. It felt like teams were just finding their groove more than the defense was making plays. Obviously that changed in the fourth quarter. The defense started waking up, late in that game. But what's your take on how the weather played a factor in that game and how much it affected those offenses?
I didn't notice if there was any breeze. Like, cold is cold, and I think guys are used to it by this point. Like the Rourkes and the Hatchers and the McInneses, the guys that have been exposed to it for years. I didn't know if there was there a wind thing that maybe would have affected, say, White or Lawther in the kicking game. I don't remember the commentators talking too much about that.
I mean, in Saskatchewan, there's always a little wind, but it wasn't anything. Yeah,
if it's less than 30 kilometers, we don't count it, right?
Exactly. Yeah, so I didn't notice much, and I mean, it was the number minus 15 sticks in my head for some reason. I don't know if that was the temperature at the time, but to me that's just kind of November in Canada. Unless the game's in BC place, you're going to get that and just have to live with it.
Were you surprised by a lack of running the ball, maybe by both teams? James Butler really didn't get going. Ouellette had 113 yards rushing. He had a solid stat line, and they were getting solid chunk run plays. The Riders were, but were you surprised that we didn't see a lot more of it based on it being, what was it, -7, -8 with a low of -15?
I did that as a project. It was probably a couple off seasons ago because my partner on the radio, Doug Brown, is big on, in November running the football is very meaningful. And so I'm like, I'm going to go back and look and just find out, by month how important it is. And what I found is that, like, running back runs for teams that win in November are actually fewer and fewer attempts than teams that lose in November. It's really weird. So I've just come to, you're going to, whatever the defense says you can have, you're going to do it. So if you are BC in that game and you're Mike Benavides, you go, we probably need to take away Ouellette in this one because it is cold and we do sort of believe that this is a thing, whatever Mike believes. So I'm usually not, just because sometimes, nuts are tough to crack, right? You have to kind of, I think of the Bombers game in Montreal, and forgive me, the Piffles fandom that I'm referring so much to the Bombers, but Montreal said, we're taking away Brady Oliveira, and the Bombers went, okay, we're going to throw the ball to the sidelines 15 times, and eventually you're going to open up in the middle, right? So sometimes you just have to do other things until you get to the thing that maybe you really want to do and absolutely bludgeon you with number 45.
Brady Oliveira played for the Bombers this year. As far as I've heard, he didn't play that much because apparently they don't call a lot of runs in Winnipeg.
Oh gosh, that was the thing. Of all the things that were a problem with the Bombers this year, I was never for a second worried about Brady Oliveira after he came back from that shoulder injury. Like his first run of the year goes for 42 yards. He hurts his shoulder, stays in there. He misses 2 games, then he comes back, and then he finished, I think it was 7 or 9 yards behind Justin Rankin in yards from scrimmage, despite having played 2 and 7/8 fewer games than Justin Rankin. He is everything you want in catching the ball, career high in catches and receptions. Like I was making this point on the radio today that I don't think there's a better match of player and fan base than AJ Ouellette and the Riders fan base. But someone said to me, well, what if Brady Oliveira played there? I'm like, yeah, they would love him too, because he plays that same smash you, stomp over top of you style that you're not going to bust off 60 yarders or 80, 90 yarders like Rankin, but man, they're going to enjoy that you turned a 3-yard carry into a 16-yard gain a whole lot.
And then you factor in his love of rescuing dogs. How can you hate the guy?
Yeah. And he's such a good dude. Like those interviews, you're like, that's who he is. And then sometimes he lights it up in the media a little bit, and it gives you the quotes that you want as well, instead of the sanitized version. There's a lot to love about Brady.
We'll get into maybe Brady's thoughts on the coaching staff in just a little bit here. But just to finalize the West final here, one play in particular that I want to get your thoughts on, and the player that made it was the 2nd and 3 for BC at the end of the game when they were just basically trying to get a first down. Nathan Rourke, play action and runs the ball. AJ Allen makes the initial hit, stops him. I think Jameer Thurman was the one that came in and kind of finished off the tackle, forcing the Lions to punt, giving the Riders the ball back on that final drive. And we've been saying this especially over the last year with the play of AJ Allen here in Saskatchewan. Is he getting enough love nationally?
I was having this conversation earlier today, and I'm just going to pull up some data. I was getting ready for the Grey Cup while I do this. I think he does. Like when you think of the weak side linebackers in the Canadian Football League, there are a lot of guys who can do a lot of things. And am I right? It was CJ Avery out of camp, right? And it was CJ Avery, the weak side linebacker in week number 1.
Yep.
Yeah. So, AJ, he certainly put up some stats, and I think someone asked him today, he was talking about he should have been an all-star. Well, who would you have taken off? And knowing that Jameer Thurman was an all-star is a tough spot. But like you're in a weak side linebackers, you're in a group with, Cam Judge is in there. The Bombers use a bunch of guys. Let's go through some of Tyrese Beverette from Montreal. Phenomenal stat-filling player at that weak side linebacker spot. But Hamilton has been in real flux. Ottawa. Frankie Griffin in Ottawa. Like there's some real good weak side linebackers, and it's a position where you can accumulate a lot of stats. So I find it really tough to kind of evaluate, what this guy over this guy, but I just know when I watch, I go, okay, Beverette, man, he is everywhere all the time, always. And then if you're not going to put up 100 tackles, 115 tackles, the Tony Jones, Micah Awe level, you're probably not going to get as much attention as you should. And then to me, I've been Jameer Thurman's fan club since, when did I do a piece on him? 2017, 2018? Like, he is so good at what he does, to the point where I don't know how Calgary let him go, and I don't know how Hamilton let him go to Sask. I just don't get it. I don't understand. I don't get it. But I think Sask is pretty happy to have him. It's great to have Canadians doing things in spots that we don't normally see them, though. So I will definitely sing the virtues of AJ Allen just for the sake of the next linebacker who might get a chance in the Canadian Football League.
And on our opening kickoff, last thing to finalize, we talk about the Rider news here on the opening kickoff. Since the last time we had the show, 9 Riders were named to the all CFL team. It was all 10 of their divisional all-stars except for Dante Myers. So Keyshawn Johnson, Logan Ferland, Jacob Brammer, Jamarcus Hardrick on the offensive line, Micah Johnson, Jameer Thurman. We were just talking about CJ Rivas, Roland Milligan Jr., and Tavon Campbell. So that's that's a star-studded lineup, especially on defense, and kind of love having that going into a Grey Cup game.
Yeah, Dante Myers is just outdone by the fact there's some good receivers in the East as well that had to be on the list. I was caught a little off guard. Brammer was the one guy who wasn't on my ballot. I had Zach Williams of Calgary, but what Brammer and Logan Ferland is kind of the guys who played. They both played, like Ferland played all the season except when they chose to rest him. I would assume that that one game was. Brammer played a ton of that season at right guard. When the Riders are pulling 11 different offensive line combinations because of injury, and six different guys played left guard this year. Like, that's just, it's absurd what they were able to do. So yeah, it reflects a team that was, I think in my mind, I don't know if you guys are with me, but they kind of chose their record, right? They could have had 14 wins. They could have tried a little harder in that final week. They could have beat BC in my mind if Trevor Harris played that full game. They could have beat Winnipeg if they wanted to, but they rested a whole bunch of guys. So to me, they kind of chose their record and chose, you know what, we're going to be healthy and ready instead of, pushing for make people, really be wow at 14 or 15 wins.
You talk about how many offensive linemen the Riders went through. That's healthy. Last year was worse.
Which Luke Mullender brought that point up to me no more than 2 hours ago, and I went, that can't be right. So while we were talking on the air, I went back to last year and went, oh my God, they used 13 different combinations of offensive linemen versus only 11 this year. Like, look at all the places Trevon Tate can play. Oh my gosh. Yeah, last year I didn't quite realize how crazy last year was, but so that they're where they are despite all these injury problems and how many different combinations of receivers started. Like, we should not know Joe Robustelli's name, but there he is dropping $140 in a game and winning me fantasy that week. Like, it's unbelievable. And this is one of the points I tried to make throughout the season. And when during our broadcast, we have like the MOP power rankings. I started doing them in week 1 every year. Every week I'd say this guy's the MOP. To me, it was Trevor Harris for about 12 weeks, because I could not believe how they kept winning football games when everybody was hurt. And oh, by the way, big free agent acquisition, Sean McEwen didn't play a single game. I'm shocked at how they were able to work through all of that and get to the Grey Cup, despite Kean Schaefer-Baker hurt in week number 1. Okay, well, that guy's the best we have at Canadian receiver. What are we going to do? Oh, we're just going to win all the time. It's so impressive.
When you mentioned the 3-0 linemen and the 11 different combinations, we've been talking his name for the last year and a half. This all comes down to Edwin Harrison and his coaching and his ability to have guys prepped no matter what position they play, where on that line they play, what combination they have. They've managed to keep Trevor Harris upright to the point where it almost felt like a guarantee when Monday or Tuesday rolled around that the Riders' offensive line was just the de facto honor roll member again. I lost count at 10 honor roll nominations. So having 3-0 linemen on the all CFL team almost feels like a shout out to him. And they need an assistant coach of the year, and they could just hand it over to him.
It would be pretty great. I mean, also shout out to Jeremy O'Day for what he did in 2024. We talked about this in the 2024, probably the first game of the season. Might have been in the preseason, but I posed it to my guys. Would you rather have Jamarcus Hardrick and a rookie running back? Because Hardrick was a free agent and Oliveira was a free agent in right tackle and running back. And I said, would you rather have Hardrick and a rookie running back, or would you rather have a rookie tackle and Brady Oliveira in the backfield? And I contend I love Brady like I love a cold beer on a hot Christmas morning. I would never have let Jamarcus Hardrick get out the door. When you look around the league, you go, how many tackles would I really love to have at this moment? Couple, 3, 5, 4, 5 in the Canadian League wide. And the Riders got one and they paid for him and he deserved it. And he's going to win the most outstanding offensive lineman this year. I can't, maybe I'm cursing the salary cap or whatever, but I couldn't believe that Jamarcus got away. And I was like, man, Saskatchewan, even just the off-field stuff as well. The fact he's just the best dude there is, but to add him to an offensive line, you go, man, that's going to transform what's going on there. when Saskatchewan had been looking for years to get a tackle in there. Just somebody take this job or stop getting injured, whatever it is, to get Jamarcus and just lock it down and go, yeah, we're set here. And then, oh, by the way, we're willing to go 4 Americans if we have to. Yeah, it was incredibly well done.
Well, that's the opening kickoff presented by Kathy Festian of Royal LePage Next Level. Time for my favorite part of the show. DT, I know you're going to love this. Remember That Guy, sponsored by District 306, Regina's Tactical Laser Tech Experience. Greg has a game for us where he's going to pick a former rider. He's going to give us some hints, and we have to guess who it is. So it's he calls it the Who's Who and Who's That of Rough Rider history.
And it's graded on Van Stones.
Yeah.
So
oh boy, oh my gosh, is this from the 2019 to 2021 era? Like,
no.
Will Paul McRoberts come up here, because then I'm in, and then I got you. But oh boy,
I forgot about that one actually.
I'll add him to the list. I'll add Paul
he had that one day at training camp, and for 3 years, we're like, when's Paul McRoberts going to play? Oh, he's not actually good. Oh, okay, yeah, we're good.
There's been a couple of those guys.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's remember that guy, Greg.
Was all Ohio Valley his senior year at Tennessee Tech. College career of 35 starts and 43 games, 161 tackles, 3 interceptions, and 2 block punts. Signed with Baltimore as an undrafted free agent. 1 second, I got to take a deep breath on this one.
Oh.
In his football career, has called Baltimore, Jacksonville, Green Bay, Tampa Bay, Denver, Ryan, Indianapolis, Frankfurt, Winnipeg, Calgary, Hamilton, Arkansas, Toronto, and San Antonio home.
Oh gosh.
Is a World Bowl champion, a 3-time Grey Cup champion, a UFL champion, and a USFL champion. And final hint. The one thing he can't do is play. Famous quote, guys. Oh, come on.
I'm stumped.
Corey Chamberlain. Corey Chamberlain. The one thing he can't do is play.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Oh.
Someone's got to explain that one to me. One thing he can't do is play. They were bad, and he was saying, as a coach, I can't do it for him.
Yeah,
basically. Pretty much. That was the week before. I think the week before he got shown his walking.
Yeah, 2005 when they were, or 2015 when they started 0-9. Yeah, the media asked him about, what can you do better? He goes, well, I can't catch the ball, I can't throw the ball, or whatever he said.
Yeah, then he ended with the one thing I can't do is play.
Yeah. Got shown the door shortly after that.
You've had enough when. Yeah, exactly. Oh, man. Corey Chamberlain, everybody. I love it. And then Bob Dice took over. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Bob Dice.
We won Labor Day and then subsequently lost more games after that.
Yes. Yeah. Was not a fun season.
But we always have 2013 with Corey Chamberlain. He was the right guy at the right time with the right team. The guys in 2013, they loved him. And he had them going in 2014 as well until Darian Durant got hurt.
That's right.
I also want to mention, I really hate Genius Sports because I actually was looking for the 2013 box scores and stats. I can't find them because they don't exist online anymore.
Oh, really? I know where you can get those, actually.
Oh, send them my way. Because I was like,
secret stash.
I'm like, Tosh Smith would be a great one on this one. And then I couldn't find any stats from the 2013 game.
Corey Sheets had 12 touchdowns that season, all rushing. He was the leading scorer. Weston Dressler. Oh, my gosh. 3 1,000-yard receivers. Name the 3 1,000-yard receivers. You already said Tosh Smith.
Weston
Dressler. And Bag was short.
Bag had 430 that year and 4 touchdowns.
Chris Getzlaff.
Boom. 1,045 for Chris Getzlaff on only 63 catches. Man, 1 out of every 9 catches went to the end zone for Chris Getzlaff.
Those were all against Calgary, too.
Yeah, pretty much. He was a stamp destroyer, that guy.
6.
I want to love anything 10. As much as he loves scoring against Calgary.
Yeah, there you go. I believe it's 15 guys caught passes that year. Who had the fewest receiving yards? He had 1 catch for 5 yards.
2013.
I gotta
Clark.
say, no, 2 for 20.
Yeah, right. You got to
I gotta say, after Scott McHenry, I don't know who many of these guys are. I'm just saying, except for this guy.
No idea.
Greg Carr had 1 catch for 5 yards.
Oh, right. I forgot about.
I forgot about him. He'd be a good remember that guy too.
There you go.
Well, I don't remember him on the 2013 team. I remember him on the 2012 team.
Yeah.
I don't know if it came early in the season. I wonder if this is. Oh, this one would. June 29th against Edmonton, 1 for 5. I assume that was season opener.
Then I think he was showing the door shortly after that.
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah, no, I very intentionally, for just such an emergency, like the CFL sells its soul to Genius Sports, I downloaded every PDF I could get my hands on. So I've got them all back many years. As a stats nerd, I needed to have them.
That's incredible.
That's wild.
Because you never know when it's gonna.
Yeah.
Man,
Oh, apparently
every week. I'm like, are we going to update this? Oh, we're 5 plays behind. Okay. This isn't great for me as a broadcaster in Montreal, where I can't see down and distance from the visiting booth, like not at all. And I'm guessing it'd be great to have stats updating live, but whatever. Flexible.
It's no different than what the officials do anyway. You're fine.
Gosh. Not a catch, says Amar Doman. Not a catch. Look at this. This elbow's on the ground, so not a catch.
Well, we'll go to that. That's Remember That Guy, sponsored by District 306, Corey Chamberlain, this week's guy. The Churchill Brewing Company odds and end zones. I wanted to get to your take on this new Trevor Harris that we've seen over the last week. His new, I don't want to say new attitude, but newly out in the open in the interviews attitude was
no Gabriel's given.
Yeah. Was asked about Nathan Rourke, says, I'm not here to talk about him. It's our time. And then the Amar Doman thing saying, get over it. It happened. This is something that I haven't really seen from Trevor Harris before. Usually he's pretty that calm, laid back guy. We'll give you an answer, but it almost feels like this is personal to me with what we're seeing, some of the questions being thrown at him and his reactions.
And I'm wondering where it's coming from, because I do not remember any of this at any point in his career, right? Like he came back after the pandemic to the Elks, or was it when he first came to the Elks, he was all cut and he had his shirt off, but he wasn't really bragging about it. He's just, hey, I'm focusing on my health. Like when he was at his peak in Ottawa. Yeah, I don't remember him being brash like this. And it makes me wonder, why now? Is it because he's gonna win the Grey Cup in Winnipeg and then hang it up and, hey, I'm gonna celebrate my 40th birthday somewhere else? Is it just, hey, I feel really comfortable where I am and I have an organization and a coach who feel like this is okay? Is this just something he's been kind of keeping in the background a little bit? It's refreshing, because that's a guy who could talk a lot of crap. He's been pretty good for a long time in this league.
It reminds me a lot of Cody Fajardo leading into to his Grey Cup win with Montreal. We all saw his locker room, the "F you just watch" or "F you watch me" speech, and it feels like Trevor Harris has almost gained that same attitude of, this is my year. I don't care about anything outside of this locker room, outside of this team. I'm taking over, and we've got this. He has that air of a leader that not that he didn't have it before, but he has that vocal air of a leader.
And it's one of the criticisms that I always, as I watch Trevor Harris and I charted out CFL games, I'd be like, man, this guy's good. And look at these yards he throws for. And it's a different style than Bo or, guys who or Zach Collaros who wants to rip it down the field, but it gets it done. And people are like, well, he's not the same. He can't win the big one has always been kind of the thing attached to him, whether deserved or not, or proven or not winning the 2018 Grey Cup on that slippery ass field in Edmonton. I don't know if that proves anything, because Calgary was pretty good at the time and Ottawa was a significant underdog. Like I've not necessarily understood why he's not gotten the love that maybe he should, right? Because he was the MOP of the league for a great portion of this year until BC went on this massive winning run and Nathan was throwing 3 touchdowns a week and sneaking the ball in at every turn. Like, I absolutely thought it was going to be Trevor Harris until it was probably a week too late that I thought it cost me an extra couple bucks. But I mean, he was so good this year on the best team in the CFL. So, he should. It just as we've been talking, I go, oh, is it because the end is coming soon by his choice? And he knows, you know what? I'm just going to light it on fire as I go. Like, hold the Grey Cup.
Boats.
There you go. Burn the boats. Burn the boats. But it's been, Trevor's been so very good. He hasn't been the best, right? But win a Grey Cup, beat, if Davis Alexander is healthy and you duel the hot young quarterback, and you beat them in Winnipeg, that's gonna tell us a lot about. It's gonna inform us a lot and kind of change how we perceive your career 20 years from now.
I wonder if it's one of those weird tactics some players take. Usually, it's quarterbacks or leaders anyway of a team where it's, you know what, put the focus on me. I'm good. Don't let the other guys get distracted by questions. Doesn't matter what the questions are, but let them focus on the game. Could it be something like that?
Absolutely could. Yeah. So, some of the best leaders are just that kind of guy, right? Like, I'm going to jingle some keys over here and you're all going to look at this and then you're not going to look at this other thing that might be going on. So that's when West practice starts tomorrow. Okay, well, what was Trevor trying to hide then? Who's limping? Who is not? I wonder. It's absolutely possible because, he's been in Grey Cups before. He's been in the Grey Cups for like multiple Grey Cups in a variety of roles. So for guys for whom it's their first, which is probably most of them, I could absolutely see that being possible.
Now, also on the odds and end zones here, we kind of take a look around the CFL, talk about some of the bigger non-rider stories, and none bigger over the last week than Ryan Dinwiddie being named the head coach and GM of the Ottawa Red Blacks, going from Toronto. You're the voice of the Bombers. How does this affect the Winnipeg Blue Bombers now that Mike O'Shea has been talking to Toronto and had prelim talks or like an interview already?
Yeah, when his contract was up 3 years ago, he would say, "Yeah, we're not going to talk about it. It'll get done." It got done. We all moved on. This year, there's probably in my 4 years here, there's never been this much kind of whisper of, "Ooh, locker room. He's losing this, blah blah blah, locker room." Oh, okay. And then Toronto is the one place. Like, let's say this. I was talking to some folks yesterday, and we all kind of agreed. Absolutely nobody knows what's going on in Mike O'Shea's head. There's no one in media who knows what Mike O'Shea is going to do. So we work from that, and you go, well, he was a legend with the Toronto Argonauts, and he loves Pinball Clements, loves him. Pinball's the GM there. Toronto would certainly, whatever title role Mike O'Shea would want, you have to believe Toronto would give it to him for reasons we've just mentioned. If he wants to be the head coach, under a GM, but he has personnel control, the Argos would give that to him. They were willing to give it to Dinwiddie apparently, so they would absolutely give that to him. So you go, okay, he's probably at a point in his working life where if he wanted to change, you could understand why, right? I think we could all go, yeah, I could see that. In his personal life, you go, oh, okay, well, his family situation is probably where if he and his wife wanted to go explore this new opportunity, they could do it. And you go, okay, well, this all stands as a real, true possibility. And then you see Naylor's report that they've actually already had some conversations. Okay, well, yeah, this is a real thing that might happen. So it wouldn't surprise me if it happens. It wouldn't surprise me if he's back in Winnipeg on a 3-year deal, because he's done incredible things. He's been the coach while incredible things have gone on here in Winnipeg. 5 straight Grey Cups and multiple Grey Cup titles and multiple MOPs and Like, it's been awesome. And he's presided over one of the great eras of Canadian Football League success, like in the history of the league. So yeah, it's neither way, I guess, would surprise me, but that most of that comes from nobody I certainly don't know what is happening in Mike O'Shea's head at all. I talked to the guy every week on the radio and every day for radio segments, and I would never profess to know what he's thinking or, apart from getting to be around football, what's important to him in his life, be it money or power or whatever, living situations, whatever it is. So yeah, it's something we're definitely going to watch. Nobody will say anything during Grey Cup week because the CFL, I'm assuming, would not allow anything like that, but we'll be kind of holding our breath between November 17th and December 31st to know, okay, what is he going to do? Because he's a guy who's earned options. Let's say it that way.
Okay, but here you go. If he stays, can Rider fans kick in a collection to make sure that Jason Hogan stays on as offensive coordinator?
That is slander. That is absolute slander from the team that hired Kelly Jeffrey in 2023. Got rid of Jason Moss for Kelly Jeffrey. I'm just saying,
okay.
Slander.
In our defense, it was not to hire Kelly Jeffrey. We just got stuck with it.
I was going through that today because folks brought up, and honestly, it was one of my years in Saskatchewan, 21, that Jason Moss was the offensive coordinator, and in my mind, I just kind of totally blacked that out because 21 was still a fantastic season going to the West Final. 22 was the beginning of, it's going to be cold here for a couple of years. And I just kind of had forgotten that they just sort of shoved Jason Moss out the door at the end of his contract to hire a guy who is a position coach. And the first thing in his resume was Mount Allison. I'm like, oh yeah, that was not a great season either. Didn't get a touchdown, Jake, a lot of touchdowns that year, as I remember.
We could just call that growing pains in the search for Mark Mueller, who was clearly the better choice at that point, but I don't think we had the option yet.
Yeah,
because
Mark
Mark
forget
turned
that
him
year.
down. Mark turned
yes.
like everyone turned us down. We got stuck with Jeffries.
Yeah, and then
he was the fifth option for a reason.
Yeah.
Well, and there's part of why we were at the coaches media conference today, and I had the microphone, and I said to Corey Mace, like, from the end of 23 to today, there's been like the Riders have come so far. And I said, Corey, I think you are probably most responsible for this, but who or what would you give credit to? And he mentioned the ticket office and stuff like that. Pretty much anybody who wasn't him. But think of everybody that came because Corey Mace came. Mark Mueller was certainly the one, right? I thought, wow, it's really Mueller who had play calling in Calgary, but then apparently it was taken away at one point or whatever was happening there. Really, that's who you're going to go with. And it's been really good, even with, Harris wasn't healthy last year, but has played most of the games this year. You go, this is all working. These guys love working for Corey Mace. And that's, Corey's going to deflect that forever, and he's going to hoist the Grey Cup trophy over his head and be like, nah, this is because of the people who sell tickets. I'm like, come on, man, it's Corey Mace. To me, it's Corey Mace.
But seriously, though, we can keep Hogan in Winnipeg forever calling plays, right?
Forever, like lifetime contract.
It was uncomfortable. There are several
the garbage bag days, right? Like the comments from Zach Claros and then Brady Oliveira the next day. He didn't do the garbage bag day media because he was in a meeting with Jason Hogan. So like what's going on there?
And Brady earlier in the season had said, we need to be put in better situations on offense, which when you know how the Bombers players approach media responsibilities, you go, that's actually quite a big statement. And then you mentioned Zach on cleanout day saying that things we repped in training camp, we didn't rep during the season. You go, things you practiced a lot in training camp, those grueling training camp days, you didn't use. And he didn't expand too much more on that, but you go, well, is that just a coach who's new to the job and wasted a bunch of their time? And what is happening here? It was real uncomfortable because the things you would hear, the whispers you would hear, you go, this isn't working. And it was probably the second game in Calgary where whispers finally, I finally started hearing some whispers, and I went, I don't know how this gets fixed. I honestly don't. They're never going to get rid of a guy in season. I don't know if he deserves to be, if he's actually the focal point of the problems, but it was just a thing that we kind of looked at as at the beginning, go, you hired Jason Hogan instead of other options. Okay. how's that going to go? And first game, amazing. Strebler's a stud. The second game, third game, wow, look at this go. And then it was cold, and there were not. It was such a weird season that I can only imagine. I wonder what's coming for 2026. If Osha's back, is Jason Hogan back? It would be massive if he was.
Frankly, I think
Hogan
they
for
should
head
give it
coach.
another year. You never know. Maybe it was just
Hogan
an
for head
off
coach.
year.
Maybe he's not offensive coordinator. Make him head coach.
Didn't you, Greg? Didn't you put that on Twitter? And didn't I chide
did.
you? I didn't.
You know
I
I
chide
did.
you in a DM, going, man, come on, man. It's unfortunate, but there's, yeah. I'm gonna stop because I'm gonna say something that goes bad. So yeah, it wasn't. It doesn't appear to be the right move. Let's say that.
All right. Well, one final thing for you here, DT, and that, of course, is the game itself this upcoming Sunday, the Grey Cup, Riders and Montreal. Time for the enemy preview presented by Creasy's Premium Home Leisure Jacuzzi Spas. You'll figure it out, Greg. You'll get there. We go.
It's not loading.
No,
it's
weird.
not loading on my end.
Oh. Anyway, the biggest thing, obviously, about this game is Davis Alexander's hamstring. You, DT, you posted on Twitter or X that you were going to have all the hamstring talk you can handle on your show today. So what's the word on Davis Alexander's hamstring?
Well, they said on their arrival, well, he'd had an MRI and it looked good, and he's having therapy 4 or 5 times a day. I mean, I'm going to be watching very intently when Montreal practices tomorrow. What is he doing and what is he not doing? Right? If he is practicing, but it's just straight dropbacks and stuff, okay, well, that's one. If he's not practicing, whole other thing. If he's practicing and they are doing the defense blitzes and you little run option, you get out of the pocket and move around. Okay, well, that's another thing. This whole game pivots on that, right? You've already seen the betting line move pretty substantially from the open. You go, okay, well, that's people doubting that Davis can play all 60 minutes. We're just going to be watching so close because this entire game is that because I just did live through Ryan Dinwiddie with a backup quarterback beats the Bombers in the Grey Cup, but I just don't think that is a thing that happens very much. And I don't think that unless the Riders will agree to start Kerfala Exame and Kosi Onyeka in the backfield, Claude Bethel Thompson isn't raining fire on them if he has to play, right?
Is that the revenge for the Jordan Hogan talk? That's just
I was just, when I was prepping for the Grey Cup, I was just listing out, okay, well, who'd they start in every game? And I went, oh, so that's why McLeod Bethel Thompson, a game I didn't see. That's why MBT was absolutely, don't say anything good about me. Okay. You knew where the backup guy was. Okay. Yeah, we saw that.
Did he ever?
So if MBT has to play, I don't know. I honestly don't know how it gets done. I'm as confident. I was incredibly confident in Winnipeg last year against Nick Arbuckle. I'm not confident in if MBT has to play. I just don't know how Montreal gets enough offense together to get it done without major James Letcher flukes or Tyrese Beverett defensive touchdowns happening.
So when you look at this game, give us some X factors. Who's going to be the X factor for both teams?
One guy who is forever stuck in my my memory because he ruined the Bombers in the 23 Grey Cup is KB Ento on that field side corner, number 48. Just that defensive backfield for Montreal is just all over everywhere. They're fantastic, and I mean that's independent of Noel Thorpe up front doing his wacky blitzes. And I say wacky with the utmost respect of here's 6 guys, but 4 are going to rush. And it's in no way the 4 that you think. I don't know how teams deal with that. It absolutely crushes me as a broadcaster trying to keep that straight and convey that to people. Right. So that offensive lines know what to deal with, or quarterbacks know where the hole in that is incredible to me. But KB Nento's a guy who man, he should have had a pick 6 against the Bombers as well. Tormented them in the Grey Cup. So that's one for me. Gosh, the Riders. I'm trying to think of who is my X factor for the Riders because everybody's so good. Like it wouldn't make sense to say Kean Schaefer-Baker is an X factor or Samuel Emelis because those guys are absolute stud Canadian receivers. I would love to be the guy who was on last week going Tommy Neild. Watch Tommy Neild make it
That was
happen.
me. That was me.
Yeah, that was Alex.
Oh, was it really?
I
That's
called that,
amazing.
yeah.
Yep.
It didn't look so good
I
when
called
he was
KSB last week. He called Neil.
Yeah, when Neil was 2 catches for -4 yards, it wasn't looking so good for me.
Yeah. And then he gets the winning touchdown. Gosh, I don't know. Like if Keyshawn's not really an X factor, he's just a total stud. I don't really have one for the Riders because across the back, Malik Carney, this, Micah Johnson, that, Mike Rose, will he get DNA'd again? There's so many, there's too many good players on Saskatchewan for me to kind of pick one or not be the obvious one. So I'm going to have to let that stand as my non-answer. I kind of don't know who would be the X factor for the Riders. Who are you guys with the X factor?
I'm rolling in with the same one I did last week for the defensive side. Habakkuk Baldonado. I think he's going to be in that backfield, and especially with a guy like Alexander, even on a bad wheel, you're going to want to keep him in the pocket as best you can. So
I'm going to throw my vote at Marcus Sales. We see what he can do when he's on, and when he's hitting people the way he can and wreaking havoc back there, he makes life difficult for any receiver trying to go out that side.
And they have a massive challenge, right? Because that Montreal receiving core, you couldn't have a more diverse group of receivers than that Montreal receiving core.
They're solid.
All of a sudden, 4'11" Tyler Snead is just savaging you up the middle, and Austin Mack is making tough catches, and Tyson Philpott is unguardable at spots, and then Charleston Rambo sporting the giant Guardian cap for the Eastern Final, just making critical catches up the sideline, up the middle, wherever you go. Oh man, this is really good. And so yeah, any defensive back is in for a real challenge tomorrow, or pardon me, on Sunday.
I wanted to ask about your time with the Riders, being the voice of the Riders, and some of the guys that they still have on this team now. Obviously, Micah Johnson was around, KSB was around. Was there a guy or two from your time covering the Riders and being with them all the time that you're just really hoping can win this one?
Oh, I'm a massive Micah Johnson fan. Like, since I think I wrote a piece on Micah in 2017. I just love him so much. And because it was during kind of those dark 2 years where people are like, Micah Johnson sucks now. I'm like, are we watching the same guy? Because Micah Johnson, he's always been a force in the middle. And sure, it's not double-digit sacks like it was in Calgary, but if a pile needs to be moved, or a gap needs to be eaten up, or a running back needs to be stopped for -3 yards, like, Micah Johnson gets it done. Like, I love Micah Johnson so very much. That's a guy that really sticks out for me. I'll forever be a big Logan Ferlin guy. Like, the stuff they ask him to do. Like, when's the last time he played his regular position? Like, or 2023? Like,
A couple years.
Yeah, like,
it's been a while.
Hey, we brought in Sean McEwen. Oh crap, he got hurt. Logan, can you play center again? Okay, can you be all CFL? Cool, thanks. It's incredible. And I enjoy him a lot. Those are probably the two big ones. I'm just ride or die with Micah Johnson, just for what he's been for his career, and to see him still rocking as one of the 10 oldest players in the CFL, which I'll hopefully talk to him about tomorrow, is phenomenal.
Well, only one thing left to do here. I know you got to get going right away here, so we'll do our final thing. It's time to make picks for the game. Let's do Piffles picks.
Piffles picks.
Well, folks, when you write 52% of the time, you're wrong 48% of the time.
Oh, smooth Jimmy Apollo. I love it. Lock of the week. My shoe-in of the week.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that's good stuff. Oddball.
I almost had a panic attack. I lost my coin. Couldn't find it.
Yeah, Steve, that was so bad early in the season. He went 10 straight picks. Then he moved where he got him wrong. So he moved to a coin.
I've been there. Let's not get ourselves.
The coin has been substantially better.
There you go.
All right. So the Grey Cup, Montreal and Saskatchewan. So what we do, DT, is I don't look at the lines before. So we do just on the spread. Steve and I have to guess what the spread is, and then we make our picks based off that. So I think you said you already saw the line move. So
Let
we
me get
won't
the
get your
yeah.
guess because you already know what it is.
Yeah, I already got it in front of me too. I always have it in front of me.
Yeah, it opened at 1.5. Saskatchewan was a 1.5.
I guess we're not guessing.
Ding.
Yeah, but it's moved pretty substantially since
Yeah, it
then.
has moved. It has moved.
In fairness,
What is
I
it
saw
now?
it too, so I couldn't guess either.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so at this exact second, it's 3.5, and it's
Yeah.
going to move to 4 based on the prices that they're offering. So it's wanting to move to Saskatchewan -4. So a Sask is a 4-point favorite.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's go around the horn. Greg.
I'm on the Riders. You know I'm on the Riders in this one. There's no way I'm not.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to get much argument from the three of us here, Derek.
Minus the coin.
Minus the coin. Flipping
Flipping the coin, flipping the camera. It's all good. Yeah.
I just
Good news
think,
is the coin took the Riders.
oh, as the away team, yeah, using the away locker room, even though did Winnipeg complain about that?
No, not at all. And it makes perfect sense, right? They're hosting
come on.
They're hosting the Grey Cup in the West 4 years in a row for reasons I don't necessarily understand, as if Calgary is going to be a great place for it next year. That you can't just have the West team be the home team, I guess. The locker rooms are pretty, I mean, everybody's home locker room and visiting locker room are pretty dramatically different. So I guess you don't want to just shun one division, but aren't they going to make it up by giving the East a run of Grey Cups? I don't know. It's one of those things. I don't know.
Best
Jamarcus
record.
maybe could have had his
If
old
you're gonna do
locker.
that way, best record. Do a best record then.
Yeah, I can get behind that. It's they did it. They 25-27. It'll be the East team that's the home team. I honestly, the only part of it that bothers me is that it's not the Riders in their green jerseys. That's the part that I wish that was different.
I really wish they did color on color matchup on this one.
Oh my God, yes. Because
Doesn't
those
happen
Montreal
often.
Blues, those are hot, right? So
The Montreal Blues versus the Retro Greens. Let's go. Like that'd be like the best looking Grey Cup ever.
no reason they can't for this matchup. No reason they couldn't do that. Yeah.
So I do have to ask, because the Riders won't be in the visiting locker room. They'll be in the Manitoba Bison's locker room. Is the Bison's locker room nicer than the visitor locker room?
100%. There's a case to be made. The Bison's locker room is nicer than the Bombers locker room.
Really?
It's that good. I remember when it was being constructed and talking to head coach Brian Doby and like, oh, this place is pretty hot. Like if I didn't know that. If they're in the Bison's locker room, zero complaints.
Is that because it's right next door to the University of Winnipeg? They want to make that one really nice as well too?
Yeah. So basically it was University of Manitoba land that the stadium is going to be built on. So the Bisons, this is me working from memory. The Bisons, this is their stadium too. So they got to design their locker room and weight room. And it is like, at the time it was 2013, 14, it was being built. Like it was, I don't know what other ones are like, but it is primo. Like it is when you walk in there, you go, wow, this is a beautiful space for a Canadian university team. This is the kind of space that they deserve to go out there and compete. Like, so if the Riders are in there, they're going to go, yep, this is good. Yeah, this is just fine.
Oh, well, so the Bisons are going to have to deal with the stale beer smell and cigars. It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. Have we talked about, did you guys see this on Twitter, the historic quadruple that Saskatchewan could do in football?
I did.
I did not. This is news to me.
It's a pretty solid run.
Yeah.
Anyways.
The Valkyries national championships, right? The Hilltops national champions. Okay. Sorry, Greg. Apologies. But in the province, the Huskies in the Final Four and the Riders in the Grey Cup. Like it's pretty long shot at this point, but all 4 national titles in Saskatchewan would be unbelievable. That would be crazy.
And you have a legitimate chance at seeing a Saskatchewan Montreal championship in both college and Grey Cup as well, which would be kind of interesting. I don't know if I've ever seen that before.
Gosh, I can't imagine there would have been, right?
Yeah, because the Carabins play St. Mary's. That's right. Yeah.
I'd have to dig into that. It was weird having 07, the Bisons were in the Vanier Cup while the Bombers were in the Grey Cup. We thought, how cool was that? 2 from the same city. But yeah, that would be pretty awesome.
Okay, well, sorry, back to the picks to finish this off. I'm 1.5, 4 points. I'm not gonna I'm going with my team. I honestly think it's a good thing for the Riders this year. They got a good thing going. I have them winning. DT, prediction time.
As the voice of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and as a representative of the province of Manitoba on the esteemed Piffles podcast in Saskatchewan, I would be remiss if I did not take an absolute dump on the Saskatchewan Roughriders. I just honestly, I don't know how you can count on Davis Alexander being 100% healthy in this game. If you were laying $5 on this game, I don't know how you could count on Davis Alexander being healthy. And I don't know what's the difference between Alexander and MBT, 6, 7, 8 points on the line. Four is not enough to scare me off of Saskatchewan in this one. If it got up to a touchdown, I might go, oh, okay. But -4, -1.5, it's Saskatchewan for me. Yeah, I just because if Alexander, if it tightens up just a little bit and it's a little chilly, to me Montreal's done. So it's Sask.
So what I'm hearing is happy wife, happy life.
Also, my wife would love it. That is true. She is bilingual, so I mean, she would probably find some joy in Montreal winning. But no, it just. Let me say it this way: I would still contend that fully healthy Montreal is the best team in the CFL. Montreal is not fully healthy, so I would have to go with Sask. Just approaching a game in which I don't know the condition of the opposing quarterback.
And we'll start getting those reports on Wednesday when practice opens up, and we'll be following along with your pieces and reports from the Grey Cup, and looking forward to it.
Yeah, guys, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it, Derek. Thank you very much.
And stay through the credits.
Yes, please stay through the credits. You're going to appreciate this. Piffles podcast, of course, is brought to you by our great friends at Dairy Queen on Elphinstone Street and Sass Drive in Regina. Special thanks, of course, to Kathy Festian of Royal LePage Next Level, Churchill Brewing Company, District 306, Regina's tactical laser tag experience, Bigfoot Vodka, and Creasy's Premium Home Leisure Jacuzzi Spas for their support. Thanks for listening wherever you get your podcasts, watching on SAS Telemax TV on demand or on YouTube. We appreciate it. This is Ghost Behind Your Mind by Tyler Gilbert.
Thank you for being such a big supporter and fan of the CFL and myself personally.